and welcome to another episode of After School Kids Lab. Every Wednesday we have a fun craft, science project, game, or skill that we do. Today we're going to be making homemade geodes. If you don't know what a geode is, it is a hollow rock that has mineral deposits on the inside. It makes it very beautiful. Now, geodes in nature, they actually take thousands to millions of years to form. Since we don't have that kind of time, we're going to make our own at home using some different supplies. The supplies you'll need to make homemade geodes include some school glue. You'll also need some food coloring, right here. And you'll need a heat-safe container. It could be a glass, a beaker, or a cup. You'll also need some eggs. In addition, for making your geodes, you're going to need alum powder. This is very important. This is what is going to form our crystals, as well as some hot water. Now remember, for all of our activities, you need a parent or adult supervision and permission. And especially for this project, you're going to need an adult to help you. We're also going to need some paper plates. This is good for putting glue on. Also, when we're spreading the alum powder, it'll contain the mess a little bit better. You might need a spoon for sprinkling alum powder, and paintbrushes. And this is for spreading the glue, which we're going to do inside of our eggs. If you would like your geode in an egg that is cut horizontally, kind of like the natural way that you would crack it, you don't need these extra supplies. But if you want to make one that's more horizontal, like this, more surface area for your geode to grow, then you're going to need to blow out your egg. And for that, you're going to need a bowl, a push pin, and some scissors. So here's the steps to making your own homemade geodes.
If you would like to separate your egg lengthwise, you will first need to blow out the contents of your egg. To do this, poke a hole in the top and bottom of the egg using a thumbtack or needle. While holding the egg over a bowl, blow through one hole of the egg until the egg is empty. Then carefully cut the egg in half using scissors. Otherwise, you can crack your egg in half like you normally would. Either way, you will want to rinse out the egg with some water. You may also need to remove some broken fragments on the edges of your egg. Next, you will coat the inside of your egg with school glue using a paintbrush. Then sprinkle on it generous amounts of the alum powder to coat the inside of the egg. After this, you will want to let your eggs dry overnight before continuing with the process. The next step is to add hot water to alum powder. Just as a note, our first batch of alum powder was not actually aluminum potassium sulfate, which is the required compound to create crystallization. When purchasing alum powder, just make sure the ingredients indicate it is aluminum potassium sulfate and not another variant of alum. The water you add to your mixture must be very hot, but not boiling. This is the part of the process where you definitely need supervision and help from an adult. You will add in alum powder a little at a time, stirring as you go. You will want to keep adding alum powder until no more will dissolve. You will know you've added enough alum powder when it begins to collect at the bottom of your container even after you've thoroughly stirred the mixture. We ended up adding about 2.5 tablespoons of alum powder to a half a cup of water, but the amount of alum powder you need will depend on the temperature of your water. Next, you can add your food coloring if you would like to have colored geodes. You will want to add about 15 to 20 drops of food coloring for a vibrant colored geode. The next step requires a bit of patience. You will need to let your mixture cool down close to room temperature. Then you can add your egg to the mixture by placing it on the surface and carefully pushing it to the bottom of your container. The next part requires even more patience because you will need to let your crystals form. You will want to make sure you leave the crystals to set for at least 18 hours. Then you will remove your geode from the container using a spoon and drain off any excess liquid from inside your egg. And voila, you have a geode. Well, something that looks like a geode anyway. Like I mentioned before, real geodes take a long time to form. Geodes are created in hollow areas of soil, such as animal burrows, tree roots, or even bubbles in volcanic rock. Over time, dissolved minerals seep into the hollow space and harden into an outer shell. So now I have some questions for you to ask yourself while you're making your geodes. After all, this is After School Kids, or Ask Lab. So, why do you think we use hot water and not cold water in our geode mixture? Why do we stir the alum into the water to make it dissolve? Also, how big of a geode do you think you can grow? Let me know how your geodes turn out. You can comment on our Facebook page or tag the library in your posts. We would love to hear about your After School Kids Lab experiences.
We hope you enjoy making homemade geodes. Next week for After School Kids Lab, we're going to be doing a magic trick where we can make something disappear. Until then, bye!